so obvious. It's like an adult to an adult telling another adult, yeah, did you know these companies want your money? I mean, duh. Hey there, my handsome and little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra, and I make videos on minimalism. So today's minimalism video is going to be providing you with my best 5 tools for fighting anti-consumerism. You guys know that I've been a minimalist for 10 years. It's been a up and down kind of journey, but I got some good tools that I think could help out anybody else, especially if you are new to the game. Honestly, these are my best tips, my most like philosophical tips to help you fight consumerism, because I mean, there's definitely a lot of videos out there where it's like, yeah, just don't shop. And honestly, that really is the easiest tip I could give, just don't shop. But I think that a lot of the things that we do is based and rooted in psychology. So yeah, I got 5 things that are the mental frameworks that I use that help me combat, you know, being lured into buying this and buying that. Because you guys know I love to shop, and if I didn't have these frameworks in place, I'd probably be not that great with my money, because if I had it my way, I would be shopping all the time. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it. Let's go. Ooh. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say that has helped me a lot, and that was really fundamental to my journey, one of the first ones is love yourself. That was one of the very first minimalism jargon that really helped me a lot, because before I discovered minimalism in my early 20s, I was pretty insecure. To be fair, I have grown a lot in the past decade, but yeah, loving myself helped me a lot with 2 things. Helped me with like my addiction to like shopping for clothes, because I figured out how to love my body or lose the weight to have the kind of body that I was happy in. The second one was like makeup. Man, like I bought so much makeup trying to make myself feel pretty, when at the end of the day, the most important thing was just to figure out a way to like truly believe and understand that like I think I'm pretty and that should be enough. And it is still a struggle, especially because I am a content creator and I'm always constantly looking at my face. And I'm not saying the journey is done, but yeah, I really don't feel as inclined to have to buy things, because I love myself. There's plenty of times where I'll like look at something and I'm like, that's pretty, but like I don't need it, because like I don't feel insecure anymore, and I feel like that's not really gonna do it for me. Journaling and practicing self-love will probably do it for me. So yeah, the piece of advice I could give is like figure out ways to like love yourself. A lot of the things we buy are to soothe our subconscious because we have a pain there. A lot of things we buy are to try to solve some sort of pain point. So if you can figure it out what it is you're trying to solve with like the overconsumption, you might have a better time with it. But the thing is though, like obviously there's nuances to this. I'm not saying that, oh, you bought something because you hate yourself. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm just saying that like you may find in your reflection of some of the things that you have bought, you might have realized that if you had just practiced a little bit more self-love, you might not have needed to buy that item to try to compensate for the lack of love that you had for yourself. Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras. So time for a quick little commercial break. So I want to say thank you so much to Cosy Island for partnering with me. This is the second collab that we have done together, and I absolutely love their heels. You guys have seen I wear their heels in a lot of my Instagram pics. So yeah, they have kindly sent me 2 summer kitten heels for me to review on my channel. So yeah, let's unbox these together. So let's go ahead and open these up. Oh geez. Okay, there we go. So yeah, let's unbox the first kitten heel. For reference, if you guys are wondering, I'm a US 8. I have worn their heels before, so I just went ahead and ordered the same size again. So let's unbox this pair. I'm also going to put on the side odd shot of me wearing them, but let's unbox them together. You guys know I love kitten heels. That's my vibe. I don't wear them in public, but they make for great Instagram pics. Oh my god, that is stunning. Look at the lace on this, guys. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, and the heel, stunning. The quality of the first pair that they had sent me, like the first collab, those were just chef's kiss. And I was like, when they asked to do a second collaboration, I was like, yes, because I know that their heels are just... And then let me just take the other one out so you guys can see that. This is what they look like. It's giving like the cutest little wedding heels. I don't know if this is what people get married in. My wedding heels were like a beige colorway, but yeah, the lace and everything, it's giving like summer, you're all tan and you put on a pair of cute little white kitten heels. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm so excited. Let's open up the second one. Same thing, US size 8. Let's open these bad boys up. So there's the little care card, the little thank you card, and I'll definitely put the discount code down below for my little Cobra babies. So yeah, since it's summertime, I have totally been into that mesh look, that little meshing look, and this is what they look like. Let's take these out. So freaking cute. Oh my gosh, I'm just like stunned. I think these are just so freaking cute. I love the pointed heel. I think the pointed heel is very elegant, and I do like the minimal vibe where like this is literally the color of my skin. You guys know that I like creams and beiges, so this shoe is totally right up my alley. It's very minimalistic, very chic, so I will put that up there. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much to Cozy Island for partnering with me for this video. I absolutely love the heels, and thank you so much. And I have listed all of their information down in the description box below, the discount code and all that good stuff if you guys did want to pick up a pair. And yeah, let's continue on with today's regularly scheduled program. Okay, coming in at number 2, society, or realizing that society actually wants to drain you. I know that might sound like a little bit negative, but I didn't really understand in my younger years before I became a minimalist that like corporations are trying to take my money. I know that sounds like so obvious, as like an adult to an adult telling another adult, yeah, did you know these companies want your money? I mean, duh. But truly, as a kid, I didn't understand these things. When I was younger, in my early 20s and late teens, I thought the only function of money was to like buy things. I didn't know there was any other function. I mean, like besides buying food and whatnot. But yeah, once I became more into the minimalism community and learning more about companies and corporations and corporation greed, I'm trying to not get too deep into it, but essentially once I realized that like companies are not trying to offer me a product to make me happy, these companies are like trying to create insecurities in me so that I'll feel bad, and then I'll go buy something to try to feel better. And I mean, is that exploitative? I mean, yes and no. I mean, like deodorant, I'm happy we have deodorant. I need deodorant, so I'm glad companies make that. But I think as a whole, once I started operating from the paradigm of questioning like, do I need this, or is this company just trying to take my money? I started thinking a little differently, and I kind of started thinking, you know what, like, what if I pay Nat first? And that's been really helpful, because there's plenty of times where I'll be like, that's really expensive. I'd rather spend the money on me than on that. And that's helped me a lot, tremendously, actually. So yeah, I don't know if this is like, if you're new to the minimalism journey, but maybe kind of questioning the narrative, like this company, it seems like they're trying to help you, but maybe they're not, and maybe they just want your money, and that might actually help a lot with like understanding that maybe you don't really need to buy some of these things. It just might be these companies trying to take your dollar. Okay, coming in and at number 3, anchoring your self-worth outside of accolades. And for me, that was a really, really difficult one. For me, most of my self-worth has been rooted in accolades. I am very like, trinkets and rewards motivates me. I'm very externally motivated. I am not internally motivated whatsoever. Like if I don't see results, if I'm not rewarded for my work, I will not do something. Hence why I don't indulge in things that are enjoyable, because I don't find pleasure in that. Like I don't game, I don't video game, or something that's fun, or like play sports that's like internally motivating. I find no joy in that. I need to be paid, I need to be cheered on, I need to be clapped on, I need to be praised. So yeah, for me, part of my minimalism journey was like figuring out, oh my god, like I have self-worth outside of my accolades, because for me, I've kind of internalized that I have no self-worth if I don't have accolades. A lot of my self-worth, I'm not even gonna lie, comes from my accolades. I feel like whenever I'm kind of down, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm a U of T graduate, and I went to dental school, and I got money in the bank, and I have subscribers, and I have a YouTube channel. Like all of my self-worth is rooted in external stuff. And you may be wondering, okay, like this is not about you, Nat. Like what about me? What does this have to do with anything? Well, I grew up in a Western society, so assuming that since this video is in English, you probably have been exposed to a Western framework, you too probably have a lot of your self-worth rooted in accolades. So I think that something that could really help, and has helped me in both my minimalism and my Buddhistic journey, this was actually something more I learned in Buddhism more than I did in minimalism, was like, you have self-worth, stop, and period. That's deep. Like you have worth, and society has worked really hard to tell you that you have no worth if you have not accomplished anything. And I know it sounds so ridiculous saying it out loud, because I think you might be agreeing with me, like, oh, obviously, duh, you have no worth if you haven't accomplished anything. So take that framework. That's the framework I'm actually questioning, or I'm offering to you to question. Can you find and anchor your self-worth outside of your accolades? That will really help you a lot in your minimalism journey. You're gonna stop buying a bunch of crap and a bunch of poo if you can root your self-worth outside of accolades. That might be, you no longer feel the need to have to buy that luxury car, that luxury bag, that luxury whatever. Go back and get your second degree. Like whatever it is that you've been chasing because you think it's going to give you status, or it's going to be another form of reward, if you could just love yourself outside of the accolade, you might find a little bit more freedom. Just a little food for thought, that's all. I mean, if you need to get the second master's, who am I to tell you no? I have like 3 degrees. Okay, coming in at number 4. So live with less to be able to taste the freedom. And I think this one is more core minimalism. If you're on a minimalism journey, and I think more so anyone who has experienced extreme minimalism, this is something that they're really gonna understand. Like, unless you have unfortunately suffered like a fire and you lost all your things, okay, that's a little I think the intention is different. Intentionally choosing to live with less is where you'll find the freedom. If you were stripped from it, you may feel a sense of like deprivation, so it may not work. It's truly the mindset. But anyway, coming back to this idea, when you live with less, there's actually a lot of freedom down here. And I think that now that I've like lived in a house and I've kind of gone crazy with the shopping and the PR packages, I'm kind of really truly understanding on like this side of the coin, living in clutter, how much freedom there really wasn't on the other side. I mean, granted, at that time, it was kind of forced on me because of the pandemic and I didn't love it. But you will find so much freedom on this side if you can figure out a way to like live with less out of like choice and not out of intention. You may taste the freedom that I'm talking about. So let me describe the taste of that freedom, because I think a fair amount of my subscribers are extreme minimalists, and so you guys are probably going to resonate with this. But like the feeling of like, I don't have to take care of my stuff, or I can remember where everything is, or I can remember everything that I own, and I can remember where it all is, and you don't have to spend as much money to maintain it, because if like one thing breaks, you don't own a lot, so you just go out and get another thing. A lot of your items you tend to buy in a multifunctional way where it's like it serves this function and it serves that function. There's a lot of freedom honestly in like not having to maintain stuff, because it's kind of like this idea that like the more you own, the more it owns you, and then you become a slave to your things. And like it's really so true. The thing for me, like the freedom and part of the freedom is just kind of like I've gotten to the point where I don't know everything that I own. I would love to return to a point where like I know where everything is, and I know there's been plenty of times I've kind of opened up cupboards and I was like, hey, I forgot about you. So yeah, if you've never lived with less and you are on a fight for anti-consumerism, you will feel less inclined to buy things, especially me. Like I don't buy things in the store because I have enough. I do not need more clutter. Like trust, like I don't need more clutter. I hope that can help you as well to like fight buying things in the store, because it's like, do you really need to bring that home? All right, coming in at number 5. So figuring out a balance between your fantasy self and being rooted in reality. And so I think these are two different dichotomies, or two separate dichotomies. They may exist at the same time, but let me explain. So I think the fantasy self is the Western ideology of like live your best life, live your big life, you know, like mansions, cars, hot babes, I don't know, all the hedonistic stuff. And I think the being rooted in the today is a very Buddhistic principle. Like you only have today, cherish the today. So it's finding that nuance between these two, and that's kind of like the balance that I have tried to figure out in my minimalism journey, because I grew up in Western society. I am super like, and if you've ever watched any of my videos, you guys know I'm actually very pro don't declutter your fantasy self. I know a lot of minimalists do declutter yourself, and there's a lot of minimalism jargon out there that's like declutter your fantasy self, and maybe one day I may make a video that's like declutter your fantasy self. But I feel like a lot of the best things in my life are part of my fantasy self. This YouTube channel is because I was like, I'm going to be somebody helpful and wonderful that people are going to want to watch in their TV or on their phone. And so that's how I had the balls to pursue a YouTube channel. I think that if I continued listening to the minimalism jargon, I wasn't going to make a YouTube channel. You need to have a certain level of delulu and living your best life to start a YouTube channel. But anyway, I digress. My point being is figure out a way to like live your best life that allows you to like pursue certain elements or the best elements of your fantasy self, while at the same time kind of like also loving who you are today. Because I think a big part of like the whole chasing your fantasy self is also rooted in like you're just not good enough today, hence why you need to keep chasing this. This will always be tomorrow's version of you, because today's version is not enough. But at the same time, the version of just only you today and never really pushing yourself to improve is also not very, at least I find for me, is not very helpful. There's plenty of times where I start to like sink into like, I don't want to say depression, but just like really unmotivated, into this horrible feeling of like, wow, this is really like, this is it, man, like this is it. I enjoy striving and I enjoy the feeling of progress. So all I can say is just find a balance between the two, and I think you'll be able to fight anti-consumerism a little bit better, because like on the one hand, you'll still treat yourself to the things that you want, but on the other hand, because you're rooted in your today self, you may feel less inclined to buy stuff because you're like, I don't need you, like I'm good. So yeah, I hope that these little tools could have helped you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.